The Circus Ship from Maine. 5 miles off the coast of Maine, and slightly overdue, a circus ship was streaming south in a fog thick as stew. On board were 15 animals who traveled to and fro. The next day it was Boston for another circus show. The captain was Mr. Carrington, was honest and sincere. He thought they should drop the hook and wait for things to clear. But Mr. Payne, the circus boss, was terribly demanding. He stomped up to the helm where Captain Carrington was standing and screamed, "Don't stop, keep going. I've got a show to do. Just get me down to Boston town tomorrow, sir, by 2." Then came a crash and an awful bash. Things flew into the air. The ship had smashed into a ledge that no one knew was there. The shattered ship began to tip. The ship sank without a sound. The splashing and thrashing animals swam around and around and around. The captain said to Mr. Payne, "Pray tell, what shall we do? We just can't leave them here to drown. We gotta save them too." "The animals," yelled Mr. Payne. "Why, sir, what are you, daft? It's clear that you should rescue me, that you should rescue. Pull me into the raft. Now ferry me to safety, sir, before I die of cold. Don't question me about Mr. Payne. Just do as you're told." Through the chilly water all night long, the animals swam on. They reached the island beach just before dawn. They pulled themselves up to the shore, bedraggled cold beat, then staggered to the village on weary, wobbly feet. The people in the neighborhood just began to rise. When they saw the animals, they had to rub their eyes. They thought they saw an elephant, but wait, how could that be? And what's that little monkey doing in the cherry tree? Soon the animals were everywhere. There's an ostrich in the outhouse. There's a hippo in the spring. There's a python in the pantry. There's a lion on the lawn. There's a tiger in the tulips. It went on and on and on. Mr. Hood was stacking wood. He nearly jumped a mile when he found an alligator sleeping on his pile. Mrs. Dewey Daly, who grew daisies by the bunch, discovered that a zebra had been eating them for lunch. And Miss Fairy Feeney found, according to rumors, the silly little circus monkeys swinging in her bloomers. But everything changed quickly, like the turning of a tide. The night of Abbott's shed caught fire, with Emma Rose inside. From high above Abbott's farm, the tiger saw the shed. The sight of smoke and fire triggered something in his head. He jumped through the flames 1,000 times back in the circus days. So he ran past all the people, and he leapt into the blaze. Then everybody panicked. "Help, help, what can we do?" When from the raging fire something burst into view, it was the most amazing sight, and everybody froze when they saw the tiger saving little Emma Rose. The tiger's risky rescue changed everyone's mind. The animals weren't bothersome, the animals were kind. And so they lived together, side by side, they got along. It didn't seem like anything could possibly go wrong. Then Little Red the messenger came running with the word. Apparently a circus ship had sunk, from what he had heard. The animals from the boat, they swam in from the bay. The greedy owner wants them back. He'll be here any day. So the people called a meeting, and they quickly hatched a plan. No animal that came ashore would sail off with that man. The next day, at the crack of dawn, the ship was at the pier, and up the lane marched Mr. Payne. The voice was loud and clear. "I am the circus owner. My ship sank in the murk. I've come to find my animals and put them back to work." He hiked until he came into the center of town. His face was red. He scratched his head. He stood there with a frown. Mr. Payne looked high and low, but still couldn't see the 15 animals in his circus. He ran around the alleyways. He scattered the village square. He even checked the chicken coop. His animals weren't there. Mr. Payne was tuckered out. His heavy chest was heaving. Then Little Red stepped up and said, "I think your boat is leaving." He ran off in a fit of rage. His ship was leaving sight, so he jumped in a rowboat, and he rowed with all his might. And from that day, like they say, their lives were free of pain. It was a happy, peaceful place upon the isle in Maine. I love you, Bob. I miss you.